Hello, all of my... How many of there are you? I see 1, 2, 3... 86 sleepy bears? That's most of you ever had. Hello, all my sleepy bears. My name's Ratchet and Blue. Welcome back to another episode of Ratchet and Clank 100%-ish. This episode, we're going to show you where the remaining gold bolts are, as well as go to another area that is very good at helping you upgrade your weapons, should you need it. So this is a little area here that is...
It's like rotten amoeboid slime.
Amoeboid smells like peanut butter.
Nice loot here.
I guess is... I don't know what amoeboid smells like, actually, and I hope to never know. But there's going to be a lot of amoeboid slime in here, unfortunately, and most of them are pretty easy to hit, but it will overwhelm you if you use the incorrect weapons, unfortunately. If you use good ranged weapons or spread, such as the pixelizer, it'd be fantastic. Maybe even the fusion grenade. However, with the warmonger, the blaster, anything like that, you're gonna have some difficulty here. It's gonna take a little bit of time, unfortunately. Now, just because you're gonna have difficulty with it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You absolutely can. It'll just take a bit of time. But if you are going through and exclusively leveling up your weapons to level 5 so you can get them maxed out, that's going to take a bit of time no matter what, unfortunately. Especially with Mr. Zircon. Mr. Zircon is the one weapon that I believe takes the most amount of time. It's either that or the... what the heck's the name? The Groovatron. Those are the two that really take the longest amount of time to get them all leveled up, unfortunately. Everything else just flies right by the more you use it. But we are going to keep the water lowered, because if we refill it after doing the trespasser, then that little piranha plant's going to come by and try to eat us. Piranha plant, what am I even saying? That's a piranha fish. Unless they have plants in the ocean. Well, I mean, they do have plants in the ocean. They have seaweed and coral and whatever other plants are in the ocean. Listen, I graduated high school 4 years ago. What do you want from me? I'm not going to do a deep sea at... Nah. I couldn't even finish a sentence before I laughed at the butt. I'm not going to do a deep sea essay or do a whole bunch of research on it just to know what plants there are in the ocean. If I wanted that, I'd just watch Octonauts. That's at least a semi-entertainable way to do it. But we have a lot of amoeboid here, and this is where you're going to see me use the blaster and have a lot of difficulty, unfortunately. But we will still be able to upgrade it, which is helpful. If they get too close to you, you can always try to use the TNT to your advantage. As you can see, it doesn't really work here. They have to be right next to it in order for it to affect them. But it's something, at the very least. But yes, as Ratchet is trying to take these out, we're just going to focus on maneuvering around, trying to avoid them, be as defensive as possible, and with the Pyroster, it's actually somehow worse than the Buster. I forgot the names of all of them. Sweet goodness. Anyway, with the Proton pack, the Pyroster, sweet goodness. With the Pyroster, it is very limited range, and it's not guaranteed to knock the enemies back if you're just on them for a second. You have to press and hold on to it for a bit in order for them to actually be knocked back. Now, you can upgrade this, of course. However, when we're just trying to upgrade everything, I don't really think about that beforehand. I just try to focus on using the weapons as much as I can until they're out of ammo, so then I can use the next weapon until that one's out of ammo. And somehow hope that that'll be enough in order for us to level everything up so we can reach the end of the game with max weapons. Which again, technically is not possible, because you have to beat the game and then buy the weapons again in the challenge mode / new game plus mode in order to get it up to level 10, and then that's the max weapon. So if you get a weapon to level 5 and you see that you did not get the max weapon trophy, that's why. It has to be up to level 10, which means you have to replay the game. But thankfully, once you beat the game the first time, with all the upgraded weapons, everything goes by a lot faster. Granted, if you have a weapon that does more damage than at the beginning of the game, yeah, that's gonna happen. Now, before we go and do that trespasser puzzle, you see how we have this big, beautiful line of boxes here and a little card pack? Yeah, we're gonna use the fusion bomb. But before we blow that up, we're gonna go and grab this little card pack here. I'm not sure if the cards in the card pack are randomized. It would make sense for that to happen. However, you will never get a Rhino card from a regular pack of holodeck cards. You will never get a Rhino card from it regularly. For the Rhino cards, they have a unique design on them, and they typically come with a challenge. So that is how you can always tell the difference between a regular set of holodeck cards and ones that include the Rhino card. Just a little bit of information there. I don't think I talked about that previously, so there's the information. Okay, and with this trespasser, I believe we're moving on to just about the final area, actually. Yeah, why the Ratchet broke that the first time and not the second time, I'm not sure, but we're not going to question it. Now, if you love seeing things explode, and if you love collecting a bunch of adorable objects that give you money, you're going to love this area. There is so much TNT here, you are going to be head over heels. And if you don't wear heels, head over sneakers, or head over flats, however you feel. Yes, unfortunately, I get a little carried away here and tend to forget that Ratchet needs air. Which, to be fair, if I had to hold my breath and I found treasure, I would also forget to hold my breath and just be way too focused on trying to bring the treasure chest up to shore. Not knowing that items underwater weigh a lot more than above ground. That's what I think it is anyway. It's either they weigh more or they weigh less. I want to say they weigh more because it's a lot more force pushing down on the items. I believe so. That's why when you do like sit-ups above land, like yeah, they're not fun, but if you do them like in the water, it's a lot more difficult because water is a lot heavier than air. Who knew? I know. But this isn't Science Lessons with Chronically Blue. We're back to the amoeboids here, and we are going to use whatever weapons we have left over just to try to take care of them because sweet goodness there's a lot of them. And unfortunately with the weapons that we haven't used enough of, they're pretty weak, unfortunately, including the combustor. They take multiple shots just to be downgraded, which, not great when you have a big horde of them coming towards you. Actually, what would a group of amoeboid be called? I know it's like a flock of seagulls. Maybe a callus of amoeboids. That sounds really good, actually. Why does that work? Yeah, here we have a callus of amoeboids. If that's not real, I'm making it real right now. But while Ratchet is attacking these amoeboids, I am able to tell you a brief little story that is not relating to Ratchet and Clank at all. I recently got an Xbox One from my dad. He's had it for a while. He hasn't turned it on in like 2 years, and he asked me if I wanted it. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Gives me another system to play and a system to collect game discs for. So I got it, and I plugged it in. I had a game already from the last 3 times I had an Xbox One, and then someone else wanted it, so I sold it to them because I didn't use it enough, or I already did the Let's Play for it. And it didn't, like, nothing came up. There was no error message, no nothing, just nothing happened. And that's not normally what happens. Typically, you put the game disc in, and then the icon for the game pops up and starts downloading. So I think, okay, well, let me download the Blu-ray player. Maybe it needs that for some reason. So I tried that. The Blu-ray player said, hey, if this is a game, it's not going to show up here. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what Ratchet gets over here. And I will continue my story.
An O2 mask. Now
Ratchet, report in with your status.
Clank and I are on Poketaru. We just stopped Drek from siphoning the planet's water supply.
You went without me? I mean, that's fine. It's okay. It's time for us to assault Drek Industries and put an end to the Blarg's treachery.
Copy that.
So yes, the O2 mask lets us breathe under the water, so we no longer have to worry about that pesky air bar. But with the Xbox, I then put in a Blu-ray movie, and it said it couldn't read it. And I knew that the Blu-ray movie that I put in was completely fine. And yes, it was connected to the internet. So, what that means is that I have an Xbox One with a bad disc reader. Hooray! It's exactly like the Xbox 360 I have that has a bad disc reader. Hooray! I don't know why this keeps happening to me with these Microsoft devices, but whatever. Thankfully, both the 360 and the One can still connect to the internet. I can still download games off of them and such, and I'm able to play them. Now, if you aren't aware, the 360's marketplace is going to get shut down in July of 2024, which terrifies me because there's a lot of games still stuck on that console, unfortunately. And there's a lot of games that you can download on the 360 that you still cannot download on the Xbox One. These being Puzzle Chronicles, Crash Bandicoot Warped, Sonic 06, and even a Kinect game, Sonic Freeriders. None of those games you can get and download on the Xbox One. Kinda stinks, especially since the Xbox One supports Kinect, so I'm not sure why they're doing that. But here, it's time for us to actually reel it back to Ratchet and Clank, the game at hand. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to this previous planet, because now that we have the O2 mask, we can go and get a gold bolt. Now, the reason why we need the O2 mask is because, and I cannot stress this enough, Ratchet cannot breathe under water. For some reason, I guess Lombaxes or Lombaxi just aren't known for breathing underwater, unlike me. I can breathe underwater pretty easily. I can do it for about 5 minutes and then I pass out because of how good the water tastes. So we are going through this little area, if you remember, it's where we had to run around and try to make it before the water reaches the top. But there is definitely a part here where we are going to need the O2 mask. Thankfully, the O2 mask is not optional. Once you have it for good. You can't just turn it on and turn it off to increase the difficulty. That'd be a little unique. I'm sure there's some people that would want that, but I'm not one of them. Alright, so we have this very hard to see little pipe here, and it might be possible if you are like the fastest of the fast to get all the way up here, but once you do, if you die, you will be taken right back to the gold bowl area. So you could accidentally soft lock the game if you got here too early, which isn't fun. And if you don't know what soft locking is, it is where you do a certain sequence of events that cause the game to autosave you or checkpoint you in a specific area where, because you were not meant to be there, you now cannot escape there. You cannot just teleport to your ship and go to a nearby planet. You can't just... The only thing you could do is to reload an old save, which at that point you really shouldn't do at all because the old save would not keep the gold bolt that you got. So that's just a little bit of information right there. Just wait till you get the O2 mask. I know that the numbers below the planets that show how many gold bolts you have and how many are missing infuriate you. They do to me too. That's why as soon as I get the power-ups I need, I go back and immediately get the gold bolts as soon as I can. Because I like them. And the gold bolts unlock special things. Not a lot of great things, but some of them are kind of cool, I guess. At least with this game, they give you the instant rewards. Whereas I want to say in the very first Crash game, if you collected the gold bolts, you had to trade them in order to get the supercharged weapons. That's what I want to say. I'm not sure about that. I played the first game on the PS2 quite a bit, but I don't think I ever finished it. I definitely didn't 100% it. But thankfully, that is all we have to do here. And now that we have the gold bolt, we can actually go all the way back to Poketaru, and we can go and assist with the other 2 gold bolts that we are missing there, because we are smart like that. Ratchet. There you go. Now, that part was a little unique to me, because typically if you're in a habitat that you can jump out of a little bit, you typically get a max of 3 jumps. You do 1, 2, 3, and then whatever's in the water is going to kill you, or you will sink down. One of the 2. But it didn't happen right there, which I'm very happy about, because then it would have had us go all the way through, and that would have been a lot more editing, which would have prolonged the episode, which I'm sure none of you wanted. Anyway, we're back in Poketaru, and I'm going to show you where the last 2 gold bolts are. And then, well, let's just say we have another planet to go to. What? Yes, I know. They have so many planets in this game. Like, if they tried to make this game on Earth, it wouldn't be long. There's 9 planets, and heck, even after like a few years, they removed the 9th planet, so now there's only technically 8 planets. And I was like, great. Yeah, I could not imagine Ratchet and Clank with only 8 planets. Plus, with all the different planets that they think of and make, it gives us so much variety, so much different opportunity. Everything kind of stands out. Now, of course, because you're going through all these levels, it is easy to forget about some of them. But for some of them, they're just so memorable. And for me specifically, that is the one that we actually just left, because it has the... not skid racing. It has skidman marks on it. Or it should have had skidman marks on it, but we needed the hoverboard racing, that's it. As the hoverboard racing, that we got the hoverboard from skidman marks from. So that makes it pretty cool. It's also just a very lovely looking level, and there's a lot of amiiboids to help us level up our weapons. There's just so many different planets that I can very easily pick out of that makes me go, oh yeah, I know this one. Especially this one with the waterfall and all the little piranha fish that come up out of the ocean land lake, whatever it is, and tries to attack you. That's really great for the proton drum. I knew that. You thought I didn't know it. I knew it. And yes, that is really great for the proton drum, as you saw previously. But we already have that one leveled up because I played favorites. However, now that I've played favorites and my favorites are already at the max level that we can get them to, I now have to use my lesser favorites in order to get them fully grown up. That'd be really dark, actually. Imagine if you were, like, born. In order to get older, you had to defeat enemies. That'd be pretty unique. Although we would have less population. Would that be positive or negative? I don't know, I'm thinking too hard about this. But now that we've gotten that, we're actually going to go all the way back to the ship, and we're going to travel to a brand new planet. Quartu. And away we go. Also, it is 88 degrees here. I would like for it to get colder. It is September. If it could get colder, that'd be great.
All right, Rangers. Our plan of attack is simple. Halo drop into Skorg City. Fire a whole mess of bullets and take Drake into custody so we can be home in time for waffles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah! Yeah, waffle! Oh, that's good.
Wait, that's our plan?
Yes, it is.
Pardon me, Captain, but Chairman Drek is cunning. He will be prepared for our assault.
Look, I think it is beyond adorable that you decided to do all this homework. But big heroes do big things. Let's take a vote. All those in favor of kicking in Drek's front door with a massive arsenal and restoring peace to a galaxy in turmoil, say aye.
Aye!
All those in favor of nerding it up here with some pie charts, say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes. We assault Drek Industries tonight. Lock and load, Rangers. Ship up and rally in the aft airlock. All right, team. Let's bring it in. Remember, our target is Chairman Drek. Ready, Rangers? On the count of 3. 3.
All right, pal. You ready?
Well, I
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Ratchet, no.
Ratchet to Rangers. I've landed in Quartu, but I ran out of jetpack fuel.
Rax and I are heading over to the complex. We'll split up and keep radio contact. Good luck, team.
Drek Industries is up ahead. Let's move.
These cutscenes make me actually want to watch the movie. I've said it before, I have the movie, I just haven't watched it. I'm really great at not watching stuff that I bought. And here we have the Buzzblades, one of my favorites. The Buzzblades. It is beautiful. If you ever played Mega Man 2, is it 2 or 1? It's one of those. It's probably one, actually, where you have the saw blade move, where you can just throw saw blades in all 8 directions. That's basically what the buzz blades are, but they ricochet off of enemies and nearby obstacles in order to retaliate and attack them again like a boomerang. It is fantastic. I love it. It's beautiful. It is so simplistic. Also, it just straight up looks cool. It looks like you could make it with a lawnmower and, 50 saw blades. But if you leave Home Depot with 50 saw blades, I think they're going to have multiple questions for you. I don't recommend making your own buzz blades. However, we do have this little robot here that is spawning little biters, I guess, little chompers, little chompies, I guess. I'm not good with names, as you can tell. I mean, heck, back when my elementary school used to have a stuffed animal drive, and what would happen is people would donate their old stuffed animals, and other students, I apologize, other students would come in and buy the stuffed animals. It ranged from like 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, $5, like $10 for like a super elaborate one. But like we always had to sign a adoption paper for it, and if I got a frog, I would name it Froggy, or if I got a cat, it would be Kitty Cat. Not creative with the names, creative with everything else, just not names. So, I don't know what you want from me. I'm a little more creative now with Dungeons and Dragons characters. I make up to Thartica, Xanalothic, Sashamacello. I just like to fit as many consonants as possible into a name. And hey, you gotta give it to me. Those are some pretty unique names. One name that I really enjoy is Chrysanthemum. That's just such a unique name. It's like Chrysanthemum. It sounds like a villain in a movie that's like ready to take over the world and somehow gets away with it. Like, oh no, it's Chrysanthemum! Yeah, it sounds like a robot. Ah, sounds cool. If your name is Chrysanthemum, heck yeah. I hope you're proud of your name. I've heard of a lot of people being like proud or upset about the names, but yeah, it's your name. If you don't like it, you can change it. You might get some uproar from whoever named you, but yeah, it's your name. Now, do you miss Clank? I know Clank's with us on our back, but I kind of feel like we need to use him some more.
Ratchet, the last time I was here, I used the air purification vents to escape. Perhaps we could now use them to get into the factory.
Good thinking, Clank.
So yes, we are actually going to put Clank through the air vents in order to get him into the factory so that we can reveal the gate and we are able to enter the factory entirely. It's time to send Clank in to investigate.
Careful in there, Clank.
Okay, so we are currently in the factory security wing.
Industries ventilation system.
Good work, Cadet. I wish I was in that vent with you. Curse these abnormally large muscles.
There's a security terminal just north of your position. Shut it down, and the Rangers should be able to access the building.
Here we are. Metatron Career Opportunities page. Please
Hey. So, that little robot guy is going to be part of us for this entire journey. He's going to make little quips and little stuff, but we don't have to worry about him. He's not going to be an issue to us. Well, he will be a little bit, but nothing too major. Now, we have the same 3 robots that you've seen before, the Spring Bot, the Bridge Bot, and the Power Bot. We just have to use a combination of them in order to make it through these different rooms, and I only got stuck on this one time, but that was when I first played the game. After playing it again, it all came back to me, so if you're having any difficulties with this, I'll be happy to show you so we can make it through together. Gonna grab this little bot here, and don't forget that you can press triangle in order to change the formation of the robot. So if you've been looking around for a power bot and you couldn't find one, you gotta press triangle to change it, like how Ratchet changes weapons. Gonna take this Spring Bot that we don't need. Put it right on over there. Gonna pick up this bridge bot because we still need it. I'm alright. I think Chairman Drek has a few different things to worry about. This is a little bomb. We can pick it up and we can throw it at stuff.
Robots, a bug in your system settings has been discovered. You should never add flowers to your battery packs. You should add power. Please see your nearest engineer for a software upgrade. Engineers, mandatory typing classes have now been ordered by Chairman Drek.
I love the little information that they put in there. But, yes, we just went ahead and picked up a power pack, or a card pack, I should say. And it's not necessary, it's there if you want it. If you really, really want to max out all the cards, you can go, and as you are leveling up your weapons, you can make sure to upgrade the ones that specifically have the bonus card pack, so that way the more enemies you defeat, the more cards you get. That is definitely an option that you can do. It is not something you have to do, it just makes it so that you collect more cards. And if you forgot, the cards basically increase your chance of picking up more cards, the amount of bullets you get from enemies, weapons in challenge mode, like we really care about that. And the only other one would be the Omni Wrench upgrade, which we got back at the very beginning, because that's pretty useful. Yeah, so apparently Chairman Drek sent us a few robots that we defeated instantly. Yeah, no kidding. Now, it looks like Clank can make it through that little gap there, but whatever. You know, I'm not the game designers, but nah. I guess maybe it looks like he could get through, but maybe it's like an invisible wall. That's what I'm gonna go with.
That looks dangerous.
It sure does. Oh, I will, don't worry. So,
Do not fail me now.
sister board as opposed to motherboard. So, what we're going to do is we are going to...
I am
Yes.
almost there.
Stop talking to me.
I have run into an obstacle. Drek's assistant said is attempting to keep me from reaching the security terminal.
Understood. Ilaris, carpet bomb the factory with pyrocytic blast mines.
I think it's probably safer if we let Clank.
Okay, that's far enough.
Hooray.
That's my brilliance.
Pretty easily. So, in case you're wondering, yes, we did have to come here specifically in order to get an additional bot so we can use it in order to make all of this work. Because it's... This one's a bit of a brain teaser, actually. So, after we use the power bot in order to get all the way over there, we now have to turn the power bot into a bridge bot and connect it to the bridge over yonder. Why? Because we still need an additional power bot in order for us to connect to the generator on that side between the bars. Now you may think that you are not able to connect it because there's bars blocking it, but that is incorrect. The power bots actually have quite a bit of range on them. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So as long as they are just close enough, they will be alright. But if you got stuck here, I completely understand. Don't feel bad about it.
Warbot Platoon 774 has successfully completed training and is ready for action. Congratulations. Now go out there and ruin someone's day.
Alright, it looks like we're gonna... Oh no, sorry, not yet. Oh, I just touched the microphone, my bad. Yes, we are rewarded with quite a bit of nuts and bolts, which very slowly upgrades our counter.
How about fighting a real warbot?
Sure, why not? Now this is, thankfully, and unfortunately, the most difficult it's going to be for Clank here. We have to throw a total of 3 bombs at a warbot in order to get it to be destroyed. Sorry, 2 bombs per warbot.
Till Victor sees that I've captured you, then I'll be top henchman. Maybe he can spend all day snacking.
It's possible. Now, the reason why I say it's the best and worst part is because, first off, this is the hardest part. We're getting the hardest part done right now. How is it hard, you might ask? Because they send out 2 warbots at us. And I have died here quite a few times, unfortunately, back in my first playthrough. But if you just master the art of running, dodging, and not staying in the same place for too long and jumping over, you'll be quite alright. Yes, please make sure to go into the little rooms because they will have bolts and or health in there, and that would be very helpful for Clank. No, you crank a ratchet. You don't clank a ratchet. Am I right? Okay, and here we have the Central Security Station.
Nothing you can do about this crate blocking your way into the security room.
He's wrong about that, actually.
If I were you.
We're not. But we will come back later. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, my sleepy bears.